Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Excited to have Organized by JM here joining us. Yes, our professional home organization company, and we're excited to talk about downsizing, decluttering, packing, unpacking, and so much that a professional organizer can do. And the owner of the company here of Organized by JM joining us, Jessica Moskal. How are you?
I'm good, Jill. How are you?
I get to see you in person. So for those of you on the podcast, I get to see her beautiful face today. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
So my name is Jessica Moskal. I am the owner and founder of Organized by JM, a professional home organizing company. We were founded in 2015. 8 years later, here we are still, but we assist with home organizing, which means downsizing, decluttering, getting rid of those things that you aren't using anymore. We also assist with packing, unpacking, and a little bit of everything in between.
And how do we find you if we want to contact you? Could you share the website?
Sure can. So website is www.organizedbyjm.com. And we are huge on social media, specifically Instagram, but we're on Facebook, all that fun stuff at organizedbyjm.com. I'm sorry, at organizedbyjm. And then phone number, if people still do the phone call thing, calling or text is 716-493-4097.
Beautiful. And today we're going to talk about how to channel your inner organizer. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I feel like we hear a lot from people. Oh, I don't have that organizing bone in my body. Oh, I wasn't born organized. I don't have that. I don't have that in me. And listen, we can train you for that. You don't have to be born organized. You don't have to have that natural, tactic behind the want in you. But we want to help people with how to kind of channel your inner organizer and how to create those habits of being an organized person. Like I said, you don't have to have that organizing knack, but we can teach you to be.
Well, hold on. You also, you need to make habits because I used to be an organized person. Then I had kids. Then I kind of lost myself and lost things. And now, even though when I organize, guess what? It gets unorganized really quick. You're going to help us develop some of these new habits, I hope too, right?
Yes. So I feel like incorporating productivity into your daily routines is really key. So you have kids, you have a busy life, you get home from work, then you're running kids to sports, you are trying to cook dinner, you're trying to do all these busy, crazy things. But if we can teach you these little ways of what organized people do and the habits of organized people, if you incorporate that productivity into your schedule, into your routine, it's a lot easier. It's a lot more manageable than people think it is. People think we're perfect all the time because we're organizers and we don't have these crazy busy lifestyles. We do. We just have very specific habits and productivity techniques that we've brought into our routines that work for us. And again, everybody's different. So what works for me may not work for you because our schedules are different, our lifestyles are different. But if you're taking a little bit away, little tips and tricks and quick wins that can make your life a little bit easier, that's ultimately the goal. Kids or not. Kids or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to know about how do we start incorporating this productivity? And there's a lot to it. So I'll let you take the reins. Just want to remind everyone it's possible. If you're not born with that organizing gene, like you said, you can teach yourself, right?
Yeah. So one of the things I think people have to remember is like time is your most valuable asset. So it's just about scheduling things, again, getting those into your routines. If things don't have to, I say it all the time, you guys will hear me say it at every podcast, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to be the queen of organizing in a day. I'm not the queen of organizing. I can tackle other people's projects. I was filing paperwork in my office, as you can see, my office closet here yesterday, and I got overwhelmed. I did what I could and I stopped, but I set some time aside. I made time for it. I added it into my schedule and it worked for me. So I think one of the biggest things, and if you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're watching any of those videos and you follow any organizers, you're going to see kind of the trending thing is the joke is don't put it down, put it away. And we'll kind of make a funny parody out of it and make it kind of fun and exciting. But seriously, if you can follow those couple words, don't put it down, put it away, or don't do it later, do it now. Just if it's something as far as hanging up your jacket instead of on the back of the chair and hanging it in the closet, it's less clutter, it's less visual clutter that you're looking at. Or instead of, I don't know, setting your water bottle down on the table, put it in the recycling bin. Little simple things. It sounds kind of silly, but it ties into organizing. It's just habits to say, Don't put it down, put it away. Do it now. Don't do it later. You're going to kick yourself later
Yeah.
if you're doing it, because then you're staring at it all day, right? And then it builds up, and then other things come up, and then you got to leave the house. Your schedule gets busy. Don't put it down, put it away. Don't do it later, do it now. Telling you, a couple little things, it'll make your your life a little bit less of a headache when you only have a few minutes and a couple minutes on your hand before you're running around to do all those other things in your life.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's so hard. I put stuff down. I can't. I'm even looking at my desk here, and it's like, okay, why do I have this
One task
paperwork?
here,
This
one task
paperwork.
there.
Why do I
Yep,
have this?
yep,
I put it down. I never finished the project. I
yep.
guilty of that.
And
Guilty.
it's one of those things. There's small tasks and big tasks, right? So if
Yeah.
it's one little thing that you have to do, but you've set it down on your desk with 5 other little things that you have to do, well, now it's kind of turning into a big task and it's getting away from you. So again, time's your most valuable asset. If that saves you, it sounds crazy, but if it saves you 30 seconds later, but you have 20 of those things to do, that's going to save you a few minutes of time in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about little tiny thing. Again, quick wins. We talk about it all the time. Quick wins. One less thing that you have to worry about later. Is it going to save you the headache later? Probably. Is it the most daunting thing you have to do? Probably not so much. So do that quick thing now. Get to those bigger things later. It makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for that. What else do you have on the list today? I'm looking through the email as well. Keep the planner. Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes. So I know planners are hard to keep for people, right? We have our phones, so we have like our
Yep.
our, our our planners in there, our calendars in there. But I think one of the biggest thing, like habits of organized people, it really comes down to, yes, it's making lists and really checking those items off your list, but a list and a planner, I think, can really go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I know planner keeping can be very hard, and it's one of those things in the new year where people say, "Oh, I'm going to keep this planner. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to follow this new thing." But I'm kind of fallen, victim to this too. I'm looking at one right now. There's the planner from last year I didn't use. There's a planner from the year before that I didn't use. I kind of said to myself this year, it just prepares me for the week. If you kind of find the value behind it, as yes, you get this fun new beautiful book, this beautiful planner, but you do have to. It is this mental game. If you do have to want to keep this plan, want to be more productive, you want to
Mm-hmm.
schedule things into your life, but keeping a planner really can be a big thing because it prepares you for the week. So I like to fill my planner out on a Sunday. It prepares me for the week. What's going on Monday? What goes on in my work life? What meetings do I have? What social activities do I have? Do I have anything fun on the weekends? But keeping a planner can be a really important thing. And for the record, and a lot of people I'm sure do this too, but I keep 2 planners, one in my phone and one actual physical planner that I bring with me. But I feel like here, let's see, let's look at my list here. Some of the things
Share.
that I know, we all have these things on our phones too. Everything's so close at hand these days. We have the physical planner. If you are not a paper person, if you know that you're going to forget that planner, leave it at home, download an app on your phone, or there's probably one already on your phone that can help you to kind of stay in check. Just like I have an iPhone, but I use the Google Calendar just because I like the way it looks a little bit better. But using apps on your phone like the Google Calendars or any other calendar method, using maybe a physical calendar, like having one in your office space where you work every day, having and just making sure that those two coordinate really, really big. Again, habits of organized people. Notes, either physical notes or an app for note taking. Again, I, as an organizer, make a lot of lists. I run a business. I have a house to come home to. There's a lot of things I gotta do. I'll accidentally blow off a friend if it's not written down at the end of the day, if it's not in my urgent to-do list. But that note taking is huge. Making those lists, and we're a little crazy over here, but we have lists for our lists, especially when it comes to the business side of things. And we have the home show coming up. If you live in Buffalo, we have lists for that. We have lists upon lists for that. But using organizational tools, those things are there to help you. So whether it's a physical planner, an electronic planner, a calendar, or again, you can have a mixture of all of these. It's just about
Yeah, it's
value.
best to have both, I think, because I have a friend of mine who's always, oh, I got to go to the office to get my planner.
Yes,
And
I
then, well, I can go to Outlook, but I don't know how to access Outlook. I'm like, you got to figure it out. It's good to
I
have the
have
hard
to.
copy.
Well, and I'm that person who will leave the planner at home or the calendar at home, and I'll go, oh, let me check my. Oh no, I forgot it because I had to bring it with me because I don't even carry a purse. I carry a phone that has like a little like pocket wallet thing on the back of it. So I can't put a planner in that. So if I don't physically have it with me, I'm like, well, let me check my electronic one. So I have one at home that keeps me organized, and then I have one on the go that keeps me organized. But again, habits of organized people, it's just little things squeezing in, don't put it down, put it away. Having a planner, having little things it just guides you through
But you also say check that the most daunting thing off first, and I'm the one that puts that last. It's
I
like,
know, I know, I know. It's one of
because I
those things
feel more
where,
comfortable. I know how to organize that area. I know how to organize the bathroom. So why is that
yes,
other room a mess? Why is the hallway a mess? Because
yes. Well, but one of those things too is it a small task or is it a big task? So you got to kind of think like
Mhm.
the months. Like December's a really busy month, right? We have Christmas, we have holidays, we're shopping, we just got over Thanksgiving, we have all that going on. That's not the time to check off those big things off our list, or that's not the time to start a new big project because our brain is in so many other places. But if you can tackle a 5-minute project, like if you have I don't know, clearing out your email inbox. I feel like that's a habit of organized people, is never having a million voicemails, unread text messages, unlistened to voicemails, all those things. If that's a big daunting task, save that for a later time when you have more things to do. But if you've got a couple minutes here and there that you can squeeze into your daily routines, and then you're saving those bigger projects for,
Mhm.
I don't know, the months like February, like when we're stuck inside and it's miserable outside and there's nothing else going on. These are the months for those big projects, even if it is the most daunting one. Again, maybe it's, the voicemails. I know so many people say, oh, I never listen to my voicemails. I never clear out my inbox, my email. I have thousands of them. For me, it's quick for me because if I have a notification that says I have an
Mhm.
email, I have to clear it. Seeing that one or two or however, I have 100 by the end of the day, that bothers me. Other people don't mind it. Save yourself the time for the big daunting projects, or start with them. If it's a manageable project and it's one of those, let's say all I have to do is drop off those donations in the back of your car that we know have been sitting there for a couple months, Jill.
I just took just 2 more bags out. I couldn't stand looking at the bag. I was bringing it to the shelter, but I actually went near the Dunkin' Donuts and dropped them off in the bin, and it's for cancer. And I'm like, got it out of my hair. You're
Nobody
so
thought
on
it,
my
right?
page. Yes.
Listen, I get it, but that's the thing, is if you know that it's going to be the most daunting thing, but it's really only going to take you a few minutes. If you start off with that, you're going to feel so much better because you're going to be like, oh, thank God, it's done. Now I don't have to do it anymore. It's a weight off your shoulders.
Yes.
But then you don't have to constantly look forward to a daunting task. If you know it's the daunting task, start with that one. You're going to feel better, and then you don't have to keep miserably not looking forward
Mhm.
to getting that task done later on. And sometimes it's like if you can check off two birds with one stone, or two things off one or off your list, like I don't know, you got family coming over, your friends coming over this weekend, and the thing you hate about it is clearing off the dining room table, because let's assume that's your throw zone, or that's your drop
Yeah.
zone of things you come into the house with. If you know that you have, I know you're behind on your audiobooks, you're behind on your podcast, turn those things on while you're, or even if it's if for something like if you're taking a college course and there's some like audio course that you're listening to, do the two things at once. If you can check off two things off your list at once, why not do it? It's
Yeah.
can it be a little bit daunting, yes, but you have this other thing that's a little less daunting, so the two kind of align, and then it's not the most miserable task you have to do at the end of the day. But it's just, if you can channel that inner organizer in you, and do a couple little things that are just going to give you less of a headache at the end of the day, check some things off your list. It's a no fail system. Usually.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Just remind us how we can contact you if someone out there wants to reach out to you. And I know we got much more to talk about. Go
Oh,
for it.
yes. So you can find us on social media at Organized by JM on Instagram and Facebook. You can go straight to our website at www.organizedbyjm.com, or call or text us directly at 716-493-4097.
Beautiful. And to continue, I know more about the bathroom. Like I just did mine.
Bathroom organization. Yes.
It's because some stuff expire. How do you know when stuff expires? Like even like the lip balm and all, do they expire? Like things you don't
Oh,
see.
so that's huge. So it's not like food where you'll actually see an expiration date written on the bottom of it. Some brands you will, it's very rare. Some brands you will, or even like sunscreens or something like that.
Yeah.
But look, there's always a little indication on it that'll say 6M or 12M. So it'll tell you from the time that you open that product, it's good for 6 months, it's good for
Uh,
12 months. People don't know that, but people also don't remember when did they open that product. You write your little date on the bottom. If you say, I opened this in
okay.
January, if you're trying, I know most people don't follow the dates for the product, but it's a good thing that we'll get into.
Yeah, even medicine cabinets, right? There's makeup, there's serums, body
There are
oils, and had
so many things.
even nail polish too. It's so funny. I took out nail polish that I guess is expired. It's like gel polish, and then I put it on actually yesterday, and it's just all peeling and gross. And I'm like, I
Oh,
think this was
see,
too sticky.
maybe it's old, maybe it's expired. It's
Hmm.
one of those things that people don't think about. Like you think about your food expiring, you think about your medicine expiring, but if you haven't used product in so long, I know that sometimes there's like the smell test. Like if you open up a bottle of lotion and you're like,
Yeah.
"Ugh," you can tell this one's been sitting here a little too long. That's one thing, but technically there is an expiration date for all of it. You want all of those ingredients that are in those bottles
Hmm.
to be working properly. So if you're using, a I don't know, a serum or an oil that's supposed to do something great for you and you're not seeing results with it after the time, the time frame that you're supposed to, it
Yep.
may be because it's old and those ingredients aren't as effective anymore. If they're active ingredients, they're definitely not going to be doing much anymore. But it's one thing people don't think about in their bathrooms. But it's like going through your pantry or kitchen. You have to check those expiration dates, get rid of the things that are
Hmm.
bad or stale or you're not eating. It's the same thing for a bathroom. If you're not using it, if it's been sitting there open for years and years, it's time to let it go. It's definitely time to let it go.
All right. Well, what else on the agenda for us
All
today?
Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about bathroom organizing. So we've covered the kitchen, we've covered the pantry in the past, but I feel like it's weird to say bathrooms and kitchens go hand in hand, but when it comes to organizing those spaces, there's a
Hmm.
couple
They
things
do.
that you're going to look for. So when it comes to like we've talked about food, if you buy the same food every week, it's easy to categorize your pantry with very specific labels. But if you're like me and you eat different food all the time, you want to label your pantry or label your food categories more broad, so that way you're not feeling guilty about putting something into one basket. So it depends. I feel like depending on if you're somebody who's more minimal in the bathroom with body products and face products and makeups and all that stuff, I'm pretty minimal. I feel like that's when those categories can be a little bit more specific, especially when you're pulling and you're sorting and you're categorizing before you're doing that final placement. But if you're somebody who uses a lot of products or samples a lot of products or just really has a very large skincare routine, you're going to want to organize those products a little bit differently. So it can be things specifically like serums, face and body oils, cold medicine. Like you can get specific with your
Hmm.
medicine. Is it first aid? Is it cold medicine, sinus
Yep.
medicine, stomach medicine, or could we just classify it more broadly as medicine if you're not somebody who takes as much medicine or vitamins? You could do something like sunscreen, lips, hair. I'm sorry, hair tools, things that are a little bit more specific. But if you're going to that more broader category, just because you own less, I think it's a little bit easier to think about those more broad categories so it doesn't complicate things. You're not thinking, oh, well, it's kind of both of these things. Where do I put them? You can do things like just more generic
Hmm.
medicine, face, body, nail, makeup, hair, versus again, hair could be hair tools, curling irons, brushes, combs, hair clips, all these things. You're not somebody who has a big hair routine in the morning. Hair, that category is very simple, very broad. Makeup,
Hmm.
do you have a lot of lip, eye, face, bronzer, contour, highlighter, this, that? Or can we just call it makeup? It's just, you just got to think about your routines. How are you going to be able to find things easy in the morning when you're getting ready or extensively when you're getting ready for, I don't know, a hot date that you got going on and you need to find your specifics of the things that you're not normally wearing. But it again, organizing and having these habits of being an organized person is just customizing these systems to work for you,
Okay.
getting that productivity into your routines. It seriously, it makes a difference, but you got to find out what doesn't work for you to find out those things that really do work well for you.
Beautifully said. All right. And also in the bathroom, we also have linens and towels. Do we really need so many? I have a problem holding on
No,
to towels. I
you
do.
don't listen. Towels are a thing. I don't know what it is with towels. I've never come up with the connection of why people own so many towels, but I, I think we have more dog wet paw season towels, like muddy paw season, than we do actual towels for ourselves. We have our two we use all the time, one for each of us, and then we have our two backup sets when those are in the laundry. You really don't need a ton more than that. We have those crappy towels again for like the dog's paws and when you spill something when something happens, but again, be realistic about how many things you have. The more towels you have, that means the more laundry you have to do, and the more laundry you can let sit in the laundry room for that long. But let's talk linen closets for a minute because I know some people don't have them. I don't. Okay, I should say I didn't have a linen closet. We just built one into our house.
Oh,
Again, we did have something. We had something that didn't work. We made a
okay.
solution and made it work for us. But some people don't have linen closets, and people think, well, when I don't have a linen closet, where do I put all these things? Because the linen
Under the
closet
cabinet.
these
That's
days,
what I
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The linen closet
But
these days doesn't just hold linens. Sure, it holds like beddings and bath towels, hand towels, washcloths. Yes, but how about all those other things like your backstock product, the extra product you have? A lot of people store like paper towels and tissues.
shampoo,
And
conditioner,
all
I put everything
yes,
in that one.
I
Yeah,
have my backups.
lotions.
I have my backstock, or think seasonal care.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
we're in Buffalo here, so it's freezing half the year and it's warm for like 2 months of the year. I don't keep my sunscreen out and accessible all the time. If you can store it into that backstock section,
Yep.
that way what's in your bathroom is the stuff you use every day, the stuff you use all the time. Why have things that you're just you're reaching
Yeah.
over things that are in the way for those kind of things. But for people who don't have a linen closet, you got to kind of get creative with your space for
Mm-hmm.
where you're going to store those things. Because I'm thinking in a linen
And
closet too, you have, I don't know, maybe you injured yourself at one point. You have a knee brace, you have a wrist brace, you have those heating pads. There's
mm-hmm.
the travel stuff, your travel bags or your travel makeup and all that you bring with you. That's the kind of stuff that belongs in a linen closet. But if you don't have that kind of space, if you don't have a linen closet, or maybe you're living in an apartment or a small space,
Then
the biggest trick, and I think the biggest thing that we see positive feedback on when we share in our social media is under the vanity. So under that bathroom sink that you have, everybody has that big vanity, at least with the two cabinet doors, and people go, I just don't have any space under here.
you're
So people
like,
can see if they go to our Instagram, our Facebook, any of that. But we share this product that we love for under this thing. They're called shoe drawers. They're from the Container Store. You can get knockoff versions anywhere, but
oh,
go
yeah.
vertical. People
Okay.
forget that they have all that tall space. So think you open the doors, you have your sink pipe in the middle, but you've got all this
Mm-hmm.
space on the other sides. There are these clear drawers that we love to stack. Typically under a bathroom sink, you can stack 3 high. That instantly gives you 6 categories plus that little space in the middle under under your sink, your actual sink, all the pipes and everything. If you're using that vertical space, that's wasted space. If not, it's just sitting there without, things are getting tossed under the sink. You can't find anything. You're rifling through things. But if you have those categories that we just talked about in those drawers underneath there, you're always going to be able to find what you need, and you're maximizing that space in that space. We talk about it in kitchens. We talk about it in so many spaces. Use that vertical space. Right
Okay.
now, you're only maximizing the horizontal space. Go vertical. If we can stack some bins high, why not do it? It's free space that's wasted if not. It's a
Yep, I
good
do
thing.
the under the sink now. Just there's one little area, of course, where like the pipe is. So I had a special bin that goes underneath it so it fits.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but that quote is right. And if you can't fit something there, we always talk about it, those
yeah.
lazy Susan turntables. Sometimes those will fit kind of right in front
Mm-hmm.
of those pipes there. And if you
Yep.
can't, there's always a little bin that you can find from anywhere. You can go to the dollar store and find one, or that one that you have in your basement that you thought didn't fit anywhere. Short, slim, shallow bin. And you could use a box top from something if you need. It doesn't have to be
I
fancy.
love it.
But
Yep.
then it acts as a bin, you can pull it out, and it's maximizing that space there. Maximize that vertical space, use that little space. It's awkward space, but if you can make it work, think like an organizer,
Hey,
have
why
those
not?
habits of an organized person. Organizing will change your life.
Got it. Good to hear that. And what else is on the agenda? We only have 3 minutes left in the show, but I'm trying to go through everything as fast as possible.
Well, we if for anybody who's in Buffalo, we would love to talk to people. We have the Buffalo Home Show coming up at the
Ah,
convention center coming up next week and
cool.
the following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's normally just the local friends of ours, but that way I will be there all day, every day, both weekends. So if people want to come and ask organizing questions, I'd love to answer anything. If you're like, hey, does it really make sense for me to hire an organizer? I learned a few things, but I just need that extra little push. How, can you guys give me advice and tips and maybe some of that virtual organizing? We're going to be there to answer anyone's questions. Um, I'm friendly. I think I'm pretty easy to talk
Yes, you
to. So
are,
it's
Jessica.
not it's not a scary thing. People are so afraid to go out to a booth and say, "Hey, can I talk to you and ask you some questions?" Absolutely. I can talk organizing all day long. And if again, we can organize your space, we can change your life at the end of the day. We want to help. We want to help people. And again, even if you're inspired by our social medias and you get inspiration to organize under your bathroom sink, we link out to all those products. We share all that stuff with you guys so everybody can organize their own space. Or if you need some extra hands on deck, we're all here to help.
Aw.
So yeah, we're here to help. We're here to change lives with organizing.
Yay. And reminder to keep that counter space clear.
Yes,
Take it
please.
out, put it away.
You're learning something.
You're
Yes.
washing your face in the bathroom, put the face wash away. Don't leave it out. Putting the
Put it
moisturizer
down,
on,
put it away. Yes.
even the
Yes.
toothpaste. I don't like keeping my toothbrush. I don't keep it out in that thing anymore because I can't stand
I
looking
know.
at it. I put it in a
I
cup and I
know.
put it under the sink because then it drips
Can I
and it
tell you
draps. What?
That's where I'm at now too. I look at it every day and I go, I don't know, it feels dirty, it feels wrong. I don't have any drawers in my vanity, which I'm thinking, oh, it's not the right space for me. I have a spot for it. I should just put it underneath because clear surfaces, clear mind, less mental clutter, less physical clutter you need to look
Which
at.
we've
And
talked
again,
a lot about. Yep.
if something's on the countertop, it looks like clutter. If you're used to that countertop being clear, don't put it down, put it away, get it into that space underneath, make a
Thank
home
you.
for it. Put it away. Don't do it later. Do it now.
Love it.
Mom
Thank
doesn't
you
want
so
to see
much.
the toothpaste sitting on the sink there if you know there's a home for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's start thinking like an organizer, channel your inner organizer, and kind of create those habits for yourself for an organized lifestyle.
All right. Organizedbyjn.com. Take a
Yes.
look and you can contact her on social media platforms too. Thank you again, Jessica. We appreciate your time here and looking
Absolutely.
to talk more. I love your what you do.
Thank
I
you.
wish I was you. I'm trying to learn. I'm picking up. I'm learning. Have a great day.
All the good ratings. Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.